Okay, this is the Strong Stories podcast. It has been a minute since Ben Williams here. We changed locations, had to figure out a new spot and all the guys here. Today we're here with Feliberto Gomez.
Hell yeah, bro.
A fellow Kill Tony alumni, right? You just had a big ass episode, didn't you?
I had a big episode, bro. And
I would even argue that you and me had some of the two biggest moments in this motherfucking year.
Very controversial for sure.
We were both very controversial. You had a way better time than me, I will say. A way better.
In the
time.
moment, I had a good time, but the aftermath has been kind of shaky.
They liked you. They liked you though.
Tony fucked with me.
They liked all that.
I mean, because I gave him great content, bro, and you know it is what it is. All the money goes to him, of course, or the money shit.
But hey, we need to get to all that later though.
Okay.
Because this is Strong Stories, and what we're here for is the life story. So I need you to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So your childhood, start from the top. I need the life story here. So what got and then leading up to now, and especially comedy, because this is you're here today as a comedian, and I think I have faith that you're gonna be here for the long run, forever type shit.
I have to be.
You're in it. You're in it deep. Your balls deep now.
I'm super balls deep.
And you were around for a while too before you started grinding. I knew you for a minute already, and I knew you were funny too.
Yeah, bro. I was hanging around because comedy has always been in me, bro. When I first moved to Austin, my goal. I'm from Deep South Texas, where nothing's really going on. In Deep South Texas, there's no comedy scene, there's no music scene, there's no art scene really. I mean, there's few pockets of art because art exists everywhere, of course.
Where are you from?
The Rio Grande Valley, RGV 956, all that shit, deep.
Were you? I mean, forgive me for asking, but were you? Did you come from poverty? You had tough times, or what? Are you from the hood?
Well. When you come from the valley,
what would you consider?
Yeah, when you come from the valley, it's a hood because everybody's poor over there.
Yeah.
But my story's a little unique because my mom.
Because I know we both with the shits, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My mom doesn't come from money, so the reason my name is Feliberto, because my parents are third generation Mexicans. They barely know Spanish. The reason why my name is Feliberto is because my grandpa had died 2 years before I was born, and my mom's name is Gina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like a strong Mexican name, and
it's a light Mexican name.
Angela is really I should be good at. Oh, fuck it. But Angela's and then my dad's name is Daniel. That's my middle name. But my dad doesn't know Spanish. My mom knows Spanish pretty well, but I come from a fourth generation. I'm pretty much white, bro, at this point. But I'm from a border town or border area, which I was strongly influenced with Mexican culture because he had to be from a border town. Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish at all?
Yeah, I do. I could order
better
taco.
Than your parents?
Yeah, I realized I was better at Spanish than my parents because my dad was looking for a Camaro or like an old 60s body, a really cheap body of a car. And that's when I realized I knew more Spanish than my dad.
Yeah.
Because he was asking me to translate.
I do, but my dad's white.
Yeah. You're half Mexican, right?
Yeah, my mom's fluent, and I'm honestly, I consider myself to be Latino. I know I look white as fuck, but
Same.
My father's family was never around. He's from out of state. He moved from New York when he was 14.
Oh, really?
So I've only had Mexican culture growing up, and I mean, no, we don't know Spanish and all that shit. But it's we to a degree, but my parents got divorced when I was 3. So eventually and we spent a lot of time though with our family, but my mom is kind of not only was through the court she wasn't allowed to be around. My dad had sole custody, second father ever to get sole custody in Williamson County. I'm from here. And after that my grandma was around, but so we're always spending time with abuelita. We didn't call her that, but she's my abuelita technically. It's my grandma. But I learned a lot of Spanish working in kitchens and stuff though too. I'm that guy helping, order food.
Yeah. I learned more Spanish moving to Austin than being from the border town, which is crazy as fuck.
Again.
Yeah, I went to school. Literally 5 minutes away from the border, in Alamo, Texas, high school. Alamo, Texas. Yeah. It's 5 minutes from the border, and everyone knew Spanish but me, and I was white. I was considered white. To everyone around me in the border town. I was I was a white kid, but
just trust me. Yeah, I know what you mean. I got it a little worse than you, but I think you're a little more Mexican than me. But still, it's genetically. But yeah, no, I was white boy. You got a beard and shit. Yeah.
And they were like, "Why do you talk like that?" I'm like, my parents are like, because everyone down there is like a first generation Hispanic or first generation Mexican, whatever you want to say.
At the border town.
Yeah, but me, I was a fourth generation Mexican. My mom knows fluent Spanish. My dad doesn't. And I realized that when he tried to buy like recently, not like a few years ago, he tried to buy like a body. He wanted to do like a project car, some type of fucking hobby he had. And he was on Craigslist and he was like, "Hey, can you translate for me?" I was like, "Oh shit, you don't even know Spanish like that, Dad?" Like, I didn't know that. But that was new to me. Like that was like 2 or 3 years ago. That I realized my dad didn't even know Spanish like that.
Were your parents together?
No, so my parents are both teenage parents. My parents.
You told me that.
Yeah, my parents came. My grandparents, on my dad's side, my grandpa on my dad's side worked a post office job, and my grandmother on my dad's side is a teacher. Pretty, American shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't know Spanish. He doesn't know that much Spanish. He had a good childhood. On my mom's side, however, there's a lot of like a mental illness on my mom's side. But my grandfather on my mom's side was named Feliberto, and he passed away like 2 years before I was born. And my mom was like 17, and my dad was 16 when I was born.
Nice, good for your father.
Yeah, but my dad as a 16-year-old, like,
raised.
Obviously he wasn't
raised.
Yeah, raised. Yeah, here's a fucking a girl who was like already out of high school, or like almost like a senior, and he's like a sophomore. And I was born when he was a junior in high school, and I was lucky as fuck because like those circumstances usually like tend to like not go well.
But, I was gonna ask you though, like how did that affect like having young parents? What effect did that have on you? Do you think, or do you recognize?
No, for sure, bro. I see them like they're now as adults. I mean, they're in their late 40s now.
Yeah. And
they're very mature now. But growing up, I watched all their growing pains, bro. Like they're going through it. Like
you're way older than they were now.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, like, I'm almost 30. I'm 28 now, but I'm almost 30. Yeah. My parents like.
What kind of growing pains?
Well, mostly I was raised by my grandparents. They're trying to. My dad was fortunate enough to like have my grandparents watch me while he worked his way through school through college, and he has a good job as a college educated man. But my mom, she struggled a bit, and the first 6 years of my life, my dad wasn't in my life. He was going through college, and he played college baseball in Odessa. Of all places, right? Odessa.
You kind of look like a Cuban.
That's weird, bro. Like, what I noticed is
Fidel Castro over here.
Shit. Yeah. No one ever guessed Mexican first. I noticed. Period.
Me too, but yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Are you Puerto Rican? Are you Dominican? Are you Muslim?" Like
Muslim a lot.
One of my best jokes about me being like confused with Muslim. But yeah, I get confused with Muslim.
I get Muslim and Jewish.
I should with my fucking nose, but I get Muslim a lot, and I never noticed that until I moved to Austin. How much I get like. The first guess for me is Muslim, and I've never noticed that growing up because I grew up in a border town. Everyone's Mexican. It's like where I'm from, people say it's like the Wakanda for Mexicans, because like where I'm from, it's not 9% Mexicans. You don't see a white person unless you're either getting promoted for a job or going to jail.
Well, even in Corpus, it's like that. That's where my mom lives.
Yeah. I lived in Corpus for a year when I was 18. I went to Texas A&M Corpus Christi for a year, and I fell in love with a girl, and we fucked up.
There's bitches out there, right?
These bitches are crazy, bro. Girls.
It's not San Marcos, but if you like Mexican girls,
Corpus is a spot. Corpus is a spot for Mexican girls for sure. But yeah, I grew up basically raised by my grandparents because they realized my parents were teenagers.
Yeah, it's necessary.
And
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, my dad's mom, like, she's a school teacher, and she even offered like to raise me as her own, at a point. And she sees me as my dad's mother, and she's still alive. She sees me as her kid, like pretty much just like a brother to my dad.
Do your uncles and stuff kind of like do they?
Yeah,
do they kind of see you as a brother almost?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I grew up with the youngest brother, my dad's youngest brother.
Well, real quick, I have a buddy who's similar situation, and he would argue that there's animosity between his uncles and stuff, like almost like a jealousy, because him and it, you know what I'm saying? It can happen, way, but you guys seem a little tighter. I don't know.
No, in a way, my uncle likes comedy, and I have an uncle who lives here in Austin, and like he moved to Austin as soon as he graduated, and he went to UT. He did his thing, but like as far as like animosity, I could tell he wants to do comedy, and who pitched jokes to me, and I'm like, well, he wants to write for me, but like his jokes are like he's in his mid-40s and like it doesn't work. I'm in my mid-20s, late 20s.
On that note, yeah, I mean,
but like I can
people think they can write jokes for you too, or you know, it's just they don't get it. Yeah.
Since I've been in comedy, everyone in my life is trying to be like, oh, see
here's
this
a
work.
joke. Here's a joke.
Dude, you have no idea. I mean,
only my father can like hit me with some good ones. I'll sort of incorporate them. You know what I'm saying? I try, you know, but we want to stay, you know, we want to stay original too.
Yeah. I mean, I like their content. They pitch to me as like father content. I'm like, bro, like I don't have a kid. I'm not in my late 40s. I don't have like a degree like y'all do. Like I don't have a house like y'all do. Like it doesn't. The shit they pitch to me is like it's cool for y'all to actually do it, but it's crazy. Like no one really like everyone has a plan, and like comedy is like the number one thing.
Subjective.
It's super subjective. But comedy right now, especially like in this today's time, it's like the number one art form right now. Everyone like it's like in the 80s, everyone was rushing like hair metal. You know, in the 90s, everyone wanted to do grunge rock. In the mid 2000s, everyone was really into like hip hop and like SoundCloud rap. But now I notice everyone is gravitating to comedy, like super hella crazy. Everyone from all aspects of life really like.
I hope so. I'm not pushing back, but like I get paranoid, you know, like. I mean, definitely in Austin, because this used to be just music out here.
Of course, bro.
Just music.
And
then now the music shit's like feels like it's taking a back seat. I mean, I don't know. I got a little bit of acknowledgement, but yeah, definitely in Austin, it feels like comedy is like up there. But I wonder if it's just because we're here. But I guess, do you agree though? It's everywhere.
I think it is. I think in the United States, in general, comedy is the number one art form that everyone is like gravitating to. Like in all aspects of life, I think everyone thinks they're because in real life, everyone jokes. Everyone has jokes, right? Everyone's joking. People are making jokes around their buddies right now, but at the same time, everyone's scared to get on stage, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's scared to actually like jump in the water.
And we know plenty of people who could be comedians if they were willing to put in that.
My uncle is one of the funniest guys. He's moved to Austin and he's carved out a lane for himself. Like he does weddings and he does speeches here and there. But I can tell he wants to do comedy and like I said, he pitches me jokes. And I'm like, bro, you're telling me jokes about your son? I don't have a son. Like I can't do that. Like it doesn't make sense for me to do like the shit you're pitching me. Like do it yourself. Like
hey though, but you were raised by your grandparents,
pretty
right?
much.
And so what's it like? What's your childhood like?
Yeah. So like the first 6 years, I mean I'm not in conscience, but from what I understand, my dad wasn't around. You know, he was doing his thing. He was, you know, getting his degree. He was making moves outside of where I'm from. And then from what I understand, from what my grandparents told me, is that he had like an epiphany, like when I was around like 5 or 6, that he wanted to be my life.
Yeah.
So he
understandably.
He moved back to where I'm from, the Rio Grande Valley. He played baseball in Odessa, college baseball in Odessa. And he moved to Austin for a bit in the 90s. When I was born in the 90s. He moved to Austin for like a year or two, and he's supposedly from the stories I was told by my grandparents that when I was around 6 or 7, he had like some type of epiphany that he needs to be back where I'm from and like raise me. Yeah, he's like he has an epiphany like, you know what, I need to be back home. So he stops chasing his dreams for a bit, and he comes and marries my mom. And I don't think he ever really like liked my mom like that, like loved my mom.
Felt obligated.
He felt obligated, and like I don't want to, you know, I'm polarizing as fuck because I'm honest as fuck. And
it's the truth, man.
The people in my life are probably not gonna fuck with it because I tell my life story. Because like my favorite comedian is Richard Pryor.
Me too.
And Richard Pryor is honest as
probably my favorite.
Hell yeah, bro. Richard Pryor is honest as fuck to like. I mean, I get it from the 2 months that I've been doing comedy and like, you know, my Kiltony appearance, like almost to like a fault, being honest. And I really don't want to air out my parents like that, but my dad had an epiphany around 6 or 7 that he needs to come back home and do the whole like family shit. So he tried to work it out with my mom, but he was never really interested in my mom like that. They almost make it to 7 years. He cheats. And I don't want to say any names, but he cheated with one of my, not the same local I brought up in the Kiltony episode, but he cheated with one of my best friend's moms. Like they had a whole affair. It was the talk of the town. So my dad has an affair with one of my best friend's moms, and that fizzled out. It was weird, bro, and people would make fun of us because.
How old were you?
I was around 11, bro. So my
y'all
parents
going to school almost like step bros? Were you at his place?
Yes. It was wild as fuck, bro. Like
that happened to one of my best friends. But anyway, in a more wholesome like way.
It wasn't wholesome at all. It was messy. It was rocky. Me and him were like on the same little league team together. We did everything together, bro. Look, we stayed sane, but there was obviously like some animosity between us because it broke up 2 marriages, bro. Like it broke up 2 solid marriages. Like my parents were married for 7 years. I think his parents were married for a little bit longer, and Again, I learned my lesson from not saying names. I'm not gonna air out homeboy like
go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
But my parents get a divorce. And then our parents date for like 2 or 3 years, and we bonded even more. Like we didn't have any animosity, but it was me and him, the friends, not my dad, but me and the friend like bonded even more. Like it didn't create any animosity between him and I. We fought like in high school because I was always the annoying friend in my friend group. I was always pushing boundaries.
What do you mean you fought?
Like we had fist fights like throughout like
in school.
No, like at the park, like, hanging out like.
Y'all basically had beef, and then we have to duke it out from time to time.
Yeah, like over trivial shit, bro. Like we would play basketball at the park a lot, and if someone traveled and didn't travel, we would escalate to like a real fight.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. Like you guys have a peculiar relationship.
Yeah, bro, and like that's still like. He's still super tight with me. Like the dude from the dude I mentioned in Kill Tony, I really don't know where we stand, and that was like one of my really best homies. But me and him, the dude that my dad cheated on and his mom, we're still super tight. Like he's talked to me since my Kill Tony episode, and he still fucks with me on like since my Kill Tony episode aired out. He hasn't really like said much except for all encouraging shit. Like this guy that my mom, the homie that my dad fucked his mom. Like I don't want to talk too much about it, but like my dad, had a relationship with his mom. We're still super tight, and that's my dog. I was the one friend in our friend group that had little beef with all my little friend groups because I would always like push boundaries, bro. Like that's that's a plight of a comedian, bro. Like we push boundaries. With him particularly, I don't know if it was just me in particular, but he's always been real sensitive, and I would push his boundaries, and we never had a lot of fights. Like I fought more with one of my other friends because he was just as funny. He could be a comedian now, but he's super successful. But I have another friend who's fucking hilarious as fuck. Sometimes I think he's more funnier than me, but he has a good ass job too. All my friends that I grew up with, and I stayed tight with from middle school to high school, they're all super successful. They don't need to do comedy. They're like all have master's degrees. They're solid. My parents were married from 7 to 11, so like about 5 years. When I was like around 6 or 7, they got married, and they ended it when I was around 11 or 12.
And then you have the 2-year relationship with the buddy.
And then my dad went on to marry someone who's.
Where did you relocate?
With my dad.
And he got married again.
But the reason why I relocated with my dad, again, I don't want to air on my parents a lot, but my mom.
Yeah.
She got cheated on, and she had like a mental breakdown, and it was pretty intense. Yeah. Like she had to get institutionalized. So I was kind of like forced to live with my dad.
Yeah.
And he was still coming up. Like my dad has a great job right now. I don't want to like air it out, but
your dad was young, and it takes a long time to build a career.
Yeah, and it took him, into his late 30s and early 30s to like really.
Some people never do it.
Yeah, but my dad's hella successful. Being a 16-year-old parent, like it's such. I respect my dad. Like I have a great stepdad with my mom on my mom's side, and I have a great stepmom on my dad's side. But their relationship was never gonna last. Like their only bond was me. They had me at 16, 17, and it is what it is. But they never really like loved each other. They may put up with each other, but for reasons beyond my control, my mom was just a little unstable, and my dad was really trying to make something for himself. And my dad realized that dating my mom or being married to my mom wasn't the best move for him, as far as like career-wise. Because my mom, she never cheated or anything, but she has her mental issues. And I love her. She's solid today now, in her late 40s. But at the time, going through her mid-20s and having a 8-year-old kid and 9, going through middle school and stuff, and then dealing with my dad cheating and shit, it affected my mom a lot.
When your dad remarried and you're living with him there, obviously she's not in the picture there. Mm-hmm. What are you going through then?
So, dude, I was I want to say completely neglected. Like he made sure I was fed and clothed well, and I had he never lived in a shop. Like, when he was coming up and going through his career.
Were you isolated, like solitude?
Solitude a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I was a TV baby. Like this was before like Instagram and like YouTube and like iPad shit. But I grew up on movies. Like my dad was out doing this thing. Like he was in his mid-20s. I'm in my 20s now.
What about the wife?
So he didn't marry. Like, they were dating for a while. So he had that 2-year relationship with my friend's mom from like 5th grade to 7th grade. Then around 8th grade, started dating this chick. So she has a solid career too.
Did she back then?
Yeah, back then. Yeah, okay. So they actually came up together. They're both in the education system.
Yeah.
my dad's actually, you know, I'll be honest, you know, fuck it. My dad's an athletic director for a school down in the valley, and she, you know, the stepmom, she's a principal for a school. So they're not well off, but they make a good income.
That's fine.
My dad, and growing up though, from 7th grade up until high school, my dad was always like a JV coach or just a teacher. He really didn't come up until after I graduated. Like, he really started making moves after I graduated, which was probably after, like, you know, it makes sense because after I moved out of the house, it was him, and he was able to make moves and shit. But growing up, my dad, you know, we grew up in trailer houses, apartments, and he would be dating that girl, you know, the lady he eventually married, and she's cool as fuck. I fuck with my step-parents, both sides.
Yeah.
They're both very, very cool people. But very neglected, bro. From 7th grade up until like high school, I could do whatever the fuck I want. 7th grade, 8th grade, I started smoking weed. Like, besides my mom's mental health issues, she was like a helicopter parent. So and I don't know why they asked me. At the age of 11, they asked me like, "Who do you want to live with?" And I was like, "Yo, my dad's chill as fuck," and my mom's like on me. Yeah, so as an 11-year-old kid, I'm like,
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, I was like, I chose my dad, and well, that kind of inspired my mom even more. That
I know my mom would have held that against me.
And she hasn't, bro. Like, she went over. Like, I mean, I'm
that's
sure
growing
she did.
pains, and that's also details we don't have to get into if you don't want to.
I don't mind, bro. Like, I'm honest as fuck. Like, after I was born, I mean, sorry, like 70, you know, right when they got married, they had another kid, my little brother. He's my biological brother. And I fuck with him heavy. He's my little brother. He's like one of my best friends. But when my parents got divorced and I chose to live with my dad, my brother stayed with my mom. And it was almost felt like a competition, like who's raising the better kid type shit.
I feel you.
It almost felt like that. It did feel like that. Like, I wanted to prove that she's doing a better job with my brother. My dad wanted to prove that he's doing a better job with me. So it created, like, me and my homies and the guy I mentioned on Kill Tony grew up like closer than me and my brother, because there was always like, my mom wanted to prove to like my dad and me that I made the wrong decision by leaving, and she wanted to, you know, that was the apple of her eye, my little brother, because he stayed behind.
It's a little bit of a war, man.
Yeah, and like the animosity between him and I
had wars in my family too.
Of course, bro. I mean, there's sibling rivalry in the normal families, but like with the divorce, it's crazy, man.
But like, I totally relate.
We're both biological, like completely biological, both same parents and everything, but one chooses to live with dad, one chooses to live with mom. And so there was rivalry growing up until like he moved to Austin. I mean, I'm jumping ahead a lot, but he moved to Austin when he graduated high school, and he lived with me. And at that point, we got really close, me and him. And we were super cool as fuck. Now, I love my little brother. My little brother is the best. I think he's one of the funniest people I know, too. Like, my family is full with hilarious people.
Me too, yeah.
I remember I wanted to start comedy in 2016, bro.
That's why we're here, man.
Yeah. I wanted to start comedy in 2016, and I asked my little brother to go with me to the open mic. And he was only 18 at the time, and I was like 23, 24. And he saw me back out, and he big digged me, bro. My little brother, at 18, signed up for the mic and did a set, bro, and he killed. Nice. And he never did anything. He's never done anything since then. My brother loves acting. Everyone in my life, except for me, has their shit together. My brother has a 4-year degree, and he's good. He has a government job too, so I don't want to fuck up that shit up either. But my brother, if he wanted to be a comedian, he could be a comedian, bro. My brother's theatrical. My little brother's awesome, bro. He won a national award in high school for being like in prose poetry. Early when I first moved to Austin, I gravitated to comedy, but I was always a pussy about it. So when I first moved to Austin, I was like, I'm creative as fuck. I knew I was creative and artistic and all that shit. So when I first moved to Austin, I was here for a year straight, working a call center job. And I was like, this is not why I moved to Austin. Like, I moved to Austin to like be creative, right? Mm-hmm. And after a year of just working a call center job, just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home.
You want to kill yourself.
Exactly, 100%, bro. Like 9 to 5.
Punching a clock in general, I could not handle.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could ever handle that again. Like, I'm committed to this comedy.
I can't. No, you will never.
It's wild, bro. Once you're in it, bro. Yeah, I never loved anything more than comedy in my life, bro. It's so weird. Like, you bomb your first set. If you don't bomb your first set, you're amazing. But obviously, you bomb your first set. But like, when I bombed my first set,
it's okay. Yeah.
It felt amazing. Like, I was just happy that I did it.
I'm addicted to the feeling of post doing a set. You know,
it's
like
awesome,
the
bro.
relief you get is like after it's like I did a set today and I'm coming home and it's just like. That is what I'm addicted to, good or bad. I mean, you're like,
it's so weird, bro.
I won't trade that feeling for anything in the world.
Nah, bro. The comedy, like, even after you bomb, bro, it still feels amazing after. Like, obviously, you want to do better. And, like, the beautiful thing about comedy that I love is, like, if you're really about this shit and you're actually funny, you think of shit like, oh, I should have said this. And the beautiful thing about comedy is like you can say it the next time you do it. Like it's not like a natural conversation where like you have a conversation with a girl, or you're trying to impress a friend, or trying to impress a job prospect. If you don't say what you want to say in that moment, that moment's gone. But with comedy, if you don't want to say what you say in the moment, you can do it like next day. Especially here in Austin, you can do it the next day, bro, and work it out, and figure it out. And that's what I love about comedy, bro. It's like, yeah, you can bomb, and like the beautiful thing is that you have to bomb. But like as a 7th grader through high school, I had no supervision, so I was smoking a bunch of weed and watching these movies. I was like, yo, I want to be.
That's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, I want to make films, bro. Like this is such a badass art form, and I
had that very epiphany.
It's awesome, right? Like, you hear stories like Joe Apatow, who was like a mediocre comic. He's a great filmmaker.
I was a natural. I chose film as like my love and my passion, but I was a natural comic though. Like
exactly,
and I feel like we're like I'm speaking together here with you.
Yeah,
like we're so natural that it's just like a calling, like a natural calling, and I firmly believe that's why Louis C.K. is one of my favorites.
And he's a great filmmaker too.
Both.
He's a great like his show is amazing, bro.
His show is one of my favorite shows
and like
of all time.
His few movies, I mean, besides Pootie Tang, but his few movies are fucking legit. I remember the first time I heard Louis C.K. bit, I was in like 9th or 10th grade, or maybe like earlier. The N-word, he uses like the N-word in a bit, and he does it so geniusly. And I remember even like as a kid, I was like, dude. I knew what was going on because obviously you're not black or come from like a black neighborhood. You can't say the N-word, but there's that bit early on not early on in his career, but early on as me like being a kid watching Louis. He has like a beautiful bit about he says the N-word hardcore with a hard R.
Oh, y'all think Joe Rogan's bad?
Nah, dude, Louis.
They're the same. They're on the same level. They're about the. It's the same mentality of like it's better to say it than to jump around it. But it's like I'm gonna personally stay out of that.
Same, bro. I'm not black, so like I don't want. I'm not Takashi.
Anyway,
I didn't grow up in a black neighborhood, so like
even Takashi looks ridiculous. Anyway,
he gets away with it. He gets away with it, or he got away with it. I don't know what he's doing now, but I knew that like.
Depends who you ask, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, people are like he's a polarizing figure, just like I am now, I guess. Just like you are now, but. Growing up, I knew I couldn't say because I grew up around nothing but Mexicans. So like, I wanted to carry my slang, my Valley slang, and influence the world too. So I was like, Valley slang.
I get that too.
No one
ATX baby.
Dude, you're a unicorn too because you're actually from Austin. Like no one in Austin is from Austin. I fuck with that you're from
Especially
Austin.
In the scene like this. There's a few of us. There's a few of us, but
that's cool.
Shout out Charles Adams. Yeah.
Charles is from Austin. Yeah, Charles is dope, bro. He's fucking cool.
From Austin. But
yeah. I was living with my mom, but. My mom claimed me my senior year as hers, and she was a single mom, and she was dating my future stepdad, and my stepdad makes decent money, but they weren't like officially married, so she claimed me my senior year, and I got, as a single mom with 3 kids at the time, I was able to get a bunch of scholarships, bro. I wasn't a great student, like I didn't try hard, but like when you're a comedian or if you're a funny person, you gotta naturally be kind of smart in school, or like, and I was always a B+ student, so I had enough grades and my SATs and SAT, ACT were high enough for me to get into Corpus, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Fuck yeah, Islanders baby. And I went there right after high school, and I got every scholarship known to man, bro.
Wow.
How's the audio?
I wasn't like that at all, dude.
I got every scholarship, bro, and I fucked it off my freshman year, bro. I got like over like $15,000 of free money, and what I did was like spend it all on weed. I bought a truck. A $3,000 truck, a little Ranger, and I souped out that Ranger, and I didn't go to school my freshman year. I literally was on campus.
I noticed you didn't pull up in the truck.
Yeah, dude. I have a digression. I started off with badass cars, and now
me too. But anyway, I crashed them. But anyway.
Same, bro. Like we can talk about that too, and for the same reasons probably.
When we get into the drug topic, that might come up. But where were we?
So I graduated high school. I was never good enough to get into like good schools like UT, but I got like to Texas A&M.
And then you got your money and you did your decisions.
And I decided to fuck off my freshman year. I got all that money as an 18-year-old, free money. I got grants and scholarships and shit, and I used all that extra. I paid all my fucking freshman year of rent. I lived off campus, and I was able to buy like a bunch of shit for my truck, and I was worried about my truck and smoking weed and girls and shit. So I flunked out of college my freshman year. But I always had aspirations. Like throughout high school, I was creative as fuck. Like I never asked to be in like AP classes, but they would read my like.
That's the one thing I can't relate to you on. You smarter than me in that shit at school.
School maybe. You're a smart guy, bro.
Yeah.
I see.
Like my IQ's okay, but I didn't. I've hated school and I didn't do my work and I was a slacker and like, but I didn't look like it, so you know, I was like a nerd with shitty grades.
I was weird, bro, because like you wouldn't believe this looking at me, but I was an odd district center. I played in the local all-star game in football and stuff. I would write like essays, like English class essays and regular English, and they were like, oh, "Dude, you're too good."
I was good at English though. Yeah,
I think everyone's good at English, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think you just. Yeah.
But like they're like, bro, you're fucking like they were reading my little creative essays, and they forced me to be an AP English, an AP this, AP that. Hold on, this bitch.
Yeah.
So, in high school, you know, I was smoking pot in high school. Here, you know, actually heavy. But,
Me too. Yeah.
But I was good at school for some reason. I think because my dad's side of the family are all educators.
Yeah.
So I understood how to like finesse the school
Yeah,
system
yeah.
and still fuck around. In high school, college you can't fuck around. You have to really be in it.
So yeah, let's stay on college though.
So I get scholarships to Corpus Christi. I mean, I actually had like football offers for like NAIA schools.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, like NAIA, like they weren't even Division III. They're separate from NCAA. But I had offers, and I remember like this coach from North Dakota my senior year. He came down. He's like, "Look, this town that I coach football in this college football town, we're only recruiting you because we need to fit our Mexican quota." He was honest. Okay. He was like, "Look, we recruit Mexican like
we have to recruit you because you're Mexican."
Exactly. He was honest with us. He met like 4 of the kids with us at McDonald's in high school, and he was like, "Look, our school really doesn't give a fuck about football like that, and it's Texas high school football is crazy." He even told us like, "Bro, there's gonna be less people in the stadiums in a JV Texas football game."
Yeah.
And North Dakota is cold as fuck, and the town's smaller than here. But what we can offer you is, since we're not NCAA, we can give you money, and we could like pay for your shit. And I was like, I don't want to live in North Dakota in a snowy place. I'd rather go to fucking stay in Texas
with Mexicans.
Yeah, Mexicans, and like get this same scholarship money, and not have to be in the cold and play like pretty much JV football version of college. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I was like, I appreciate the offers. I fuck with it. I was like, this is cool. Like, and my friends growing up told me too. Like, I know I'm jumping ahead, but they're like telling me now that I do comedy, like you should talk about like even being like so small and being like getting recruited as a football player. I was a center. I've always been chubby, but like in high school, I was bench pressing. Like my max bench press was like 285, which isn't crazy. Good. But my squat was crazy. But maybe because I'm so short, but I squatted like 650 in high school. Yeah. And I was fucking. I was a beast.
Or what?
What?
You just raw?
Dude, I was a beast in high school, bro.
Full range squats?
Yeah, bro, all the way down, bro. Like, cause my dad was my coach too in high school. He was my offensive line coach. I played
lifting shoes, nothing.
Yeah, bro, the bell and everything.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I had the bell and all. And dude,
that's really, really good. I never got to that.
Yeah, dude, I was.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I still have one of the records at the high school I went to for squat, but yeah, I was like, recruited by those D3 schools because I was 5'7", bro. I knew I wasn't gonna go like D2 or D3 or even D1. Of course not. I was happy like that I was getting noticed in that little area.
I never squatted no damn 650, dude. That's pretty crazy.
Bro, I'll confirm. I'll call my dad right now and confirm it. I swear to God.
No, I'm applauding you. I believe you.
Yeah, dude. I was, bro. You can look at my bro.
It's always in high school.
I know. Yeah, I know. Anyway. I don't like talking about it, but it's part of my life story. But yeah, I like, and you can see it, bro. Like if you look at PJ Memorial. Around 2012, 2010, 2012.
So what did you decide to do though with college? And you said you already got to you picked something, and then you got your vehicles and.
So I fell in love with this girl. She was from San Antonio. I'm from the Valley. We met in Corpus, and both of us had similar backgrounds, divorced parents. And she was like a really good band. She got like a band scholarship at Corpus, Texas A&M Corpus. Yeah, so I go to Corpus. I fall in love with this girl, and we decided like to equally fuck off school. We sat in our dorms, our apartments, and like smoked and had sex and like went to parties together. And then after that freshman year, we both flunked out freshman year, and we moved together to San Antonio with her parents. And I don't know if you ever see Fear with Mark Wahlberg.
I don't think so.
Mark Wahlberg. It's a movie where he plays like a crazy boyfriend. And at 18, 19, I moved in with her and her parents, and I was pretty much Mark Wahlberg. Like I took.
Admittedly, you were just wrong there.
Yeah, bro. Like I got in fights with her younger brother, who was like 17. I was like 19. I beat him up at the house, and they're like, "He's never allowed to come back here again." And she was rebellious, and I would come back to the house and like live with them. And like, we would stay in her room and smoke weed, do Zans and stuff. That's really when I got like heavy into Xanax.
How old were you?
19 at the time.
19.
Yeah, because like right there, freshman year in college.
Okay.
And we would stay in, and like I lived a year in San Antonio with her. And her parents. But
Some people start younger.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
19, I got really addicted to Xanax with her, and like going to San Antonio, and like even like she was always into art, and I was into art too, like all types of art, whether it be drawing, film, music, comedy. We loved it all at 19. So we would go to art shows or comedy shows, hip hop shows, and just vibe out. We were always fans. We never like really like dipped in after high school. We were just really more into drugs and shit and fucking each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that fizzled out, and after 19, I went back to the valley where I'm from, and I kept working call center jobs, you know.
Yeah.
From 1923, my life was like pretty much still high school.
Punching a clock, the worst thing ever.
I was living with my mom at the time, or my grandma. I'd bounce around from 1923, from my grandma's house to my aunt's house to my mom's house, wherever I could like fuck around for 3 or 4 months at a time until they got over me. And just
working these day jobs.
These call center jobs. I always worked call center
different
jobs.
ones?
Different call centers
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the little small town. Call center jobs, bro. And the call
There's
center,
just enough of them? Enough jobs?
yeah, in that area, bro, in every area, I feel like there's always call center jobs.
Yeah. Workaholics. That's, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And like even office space type shit. I love like that director.
That's filmed over here.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
filmed
Fuck
out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused and all that shit. That same director and writer. Robert something, right? Something.
No, that was Mike Judge who made
Mike
Office
Judge,
Space,
Mike Judge
but
Office
you're
Space.
thinking of Richard Linklater.
Richard
but
Linklater, that's something.
let's not get into that. I got a lot to say about that man.
He's like autistic-ish in a
I hope
way.
so.
He is.
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, Richard Linklater, that's what I'm thinking of.
He's not bad.
You don't like him?
I
His films are great.
let me
bro.
just say one thing real quick, if you're curious about.
I'm curious as fuck.
I don't hate
like
the
other
guy.
films.
I don't hate the guy, or anything. It's I basically I want to kind of be him in a weird way, in my own way. Like saying no animosity, no nothing. If Richard Linklater is watching this,
I doubt it.
I
Shout out
don't
to him,
think.
bro.
I hope not. I don't know.
I doubt it, bro.
It's just that when everybody says Texas filmmakers,
it's him first.
Richard Linklater. You know who else is from Texas?
Who?
Wes
Mike Judge.
Anderson.
He's from Houston, right?
He's from Houston, Texas.
Yeah. He's from Houston.
I think Wes. I'm sorry. I like Wes Anderson more
Of
than
course,
Richard
but,
Linklater.
I mean-
I'm sorry. I do. But it's whatever.
If you want to talk about films,
And that's also like if I bet they would watch this and be like, why is this guy even looking at it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Wes
it's just
Anderson-
my little cheesy like thing I like to joke with myself about. It's
Wes
not a big
Anderson's
deal.
better at creating an atmosphere.
It's
and
just a
creating,
different kind of filmmaker.
They're
Apples
both,
to
yeah,
oranges.
it really is
And-
apples to oranges with them
but I'm
too.
saying Texas
Yeah,
filmmakers, nobody. Oh, yeah, I took your lighter.
Mike Judge and.
When I talk about Texas, I'm a Marvel fan.
And Wes Anderson, yeah. Wes Anderson's lit. He's obviously like probably the most.
Mike Judge is just like
prolific.
I think he's from Arizona. He goes all
Okay.
over these southern states, but no, I just when it comes to Texas filmmakers, I wish people brought up Wes Anderson more.
I think
you
'cause
know.
he's so mainstream that
He's
you
so
know,
mainstream, and probably
because-
never films in Texas or whatever.
Yeah,
but
and like Richard Linklater is known for like.
he loves Texas and won't leave Texas.
What's his?
and
He's
My-
the director of that.
my buddies have met him, and
For real?
yeah, and he used to
That's
hang out
good.
at iHeartVideo, which got gutted
course.
over by Abe's Smoke Shop over there. Like,
Yeah,
anyway.
that's wild as fuck, bro. Cause I just moved here before the pandemic, and I fucked with iHeartVideo.
Right? and
I
he
mean, that's
would-
awesome shit.
Apparently, you would like if you went there enough, you would run into him. But anyway,
That's dope. I never ran into him. That's lit. I would have been.
yeah, my
Jeez,
buddy
over
not
there.
only ran into him there, he also got to work on a set with him later. But anyway,
Cause I mean,
like you know, things like Boyhood, honestly,
good movie.
that's a good Like I've always like
concept.
as a kid, I would wonder if somebody would ever do that. Like I used to have that idea.
think
Like
everyone has that
what
idea.
if somebody like just took the time to do that?
Over
Or then I
10
always
years.
thought like, what if I shot half a movie and then 10 years later shot the other half? So like a like the ultimate time travel movie. So like you could really play with yourself.
Dude, he's
And then,
lit,
but it's
bro.
just like, I mean, but anyway, that's as close as you can. He has like an even bigger one he's working on. Anyway, enough about that. We're talking about your life story. Fuck
Days of
that.
Confused is awesome, but yeah. So I moved to the valley from 19 to 23, doing these dead end
And you were
jobs.
wanting to make movies,
And I was like,
and you're wishing you could make movies the
And-
whole time.
yeah, down South Texas. There's not a
And are
lot-
you buying cameras and trying?
At that time, no, bro. So I'm like, from 19 to 23, I was in South Texas. After breaking up with that girl in San Antonio, moving down to deep South Texas, and I was just doing day jobs and pretty much living like a high school life, bro. I was doing day jobs and still like smoking and drinking and just partying. But at 23, I saved up like $2,000, and my lease had ended. I'm like, I really want to be a creative, bro. Like, I want to be a creative. I don't have enough money and enough chops to move to LA or New York. I'm like, let me at 23, like, let me at least go to Austin, like, get out of the Rio Grande Valley where there's not a lot of opportunities. Now there is, like, now with the internet, by the time, you know, in the mid 2000s or 2010s, the valley, you know, the internet wasn't really what it is now, where anyone can make it anywhere. But I was like, I need to move to Austin at least to start my creative journey. Like, I've always been a creative, or like thinking creatively, and I'm like, let me move to Austin at 23 to start my creative journey. So I moved there, and my plan was to buy a camera, but then I got caught up in the same thing, like getting a day job and going to 6th Street and partying and shit. But I didn't like it. For 1 year, I was like, you know, working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and then partying on 6th Street. You know, 6th Street was a lot more dangerous back then too. Like, people don't even.
Oh, I know.
People think it's wild now, but pre-pandemic 6th Street was fucking crazy.
I'm gonna say it's only been
Shootings
a couple years since it stopped being so dangerous. But I mean,
it's funny, bro.
By the time like right before the pandemic ended, no, it wasn't as bad as it was 5 years ago. No, it wasn't as bad as it was 10 years ago.
It's still crazy.
Like,
6th Street's
but
crazy.
like, you know, it was always a story of like your buddy got his ass kicked under that bridge where
Always.
everybody parks now. You
Always,
know?
bro.
It's like.
Funny, I mean, I don't want
Yeah.
to tie it back, but the first time me and my buddy, the homeboy that my dad cheated with, the first time we went to 6th Street, he got knocked the fuck out. On 6th
Oh,
Street.
and then yeah, just street fights
Yeah.
happen more. They still happen here and there, but it's a big fucking woo. Horses come and everybody piles
Before
around.
pre-pandemic and before Joe Rogan, 6th Street was really the wild west. But like it's still local. It's still crazy.
They need those fucking horses.
They
need
do,
those
bro,
fucking
like-
horses. I didn't think about. I used to give them shit for that until I saw them. It's like a zombie apocalypse they have to run through to get to that shit. But anyway, so yeah.
So I'm here for a year straight in Austin at 23, and I'm like, I'm not doing shit with my life. Like, what am I doing? So I saved up enough money to buy a $1,000 camera. At that time, it was a Panasonic G7. And I know I'm talking about.
You did your research. That
Yeah.
was what you
It
could.
was
Best thing you could
the
get for
cheapest
that
4K
price.
camera at the time, and it's still a good deal,
What
bro.
year? What year?
This was 2017 at the point.
Cool.
And I was influenced by Cole Bennett and the whole SoundCloud era, and I was like, this is a good start. Like, I wish I was too scared. I was going to comedy shows back then in 2016, 2017, but I was way too scared to even dip my toes in the water. That's when my brother moved up at 18 to Austin, and he digged me and did the comedy set, and showed me like, why are you so fucking scared? Like, I could do it with no set. No, he went off the dome and did a comedy set in 2017, just a big dignity type shit. And I was still scared. I was like, you know what? I want to be creative, but I'm too scared to be in front of the camera. So my goal, and still to this day, is to be a filmmaker. But my goal, I was like, let me start off by buying a camera. So I bought a Panasonic G7, and I did my research on local Austin rappers, and I found one who I thought I actually liked and was popping at the time. His name was Dank Sinatra, and he still does, like, you know, rapping and stuff. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, talk shit, but he's still, you know, he's figuring the shit out, and he was popping back then. He has a song with Lil Peep that's over 10 million views on YouTube.
Cool.
But
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Lil Peep, bro. He's lit. Bro, I fuck with that whole SoundCloud era. It's funny. But at 2017, I reached out to Dank Sinatra here in Austin. I'm like, hey, I just bought a camera, and I'm trying to get into the videography shit. Can I shoot a music video for you? He's like, yeah, go for it. Shoot a music video for him in 2017. And from 2017 to the pandemic, I was shooting music videos. Then in 2019, I was hanging around. So the spot by Creek in the Cave, I don't know if you remember Scratch House. You fuck with Scratch House?
I don't think so.
No. So the spot by Creek in the Cave, now it's like a after-hour spot for a club on 6th Street. But at that time, that was like the Creek in the Cave for like rap artists. So I was hanging out by that spot, which is called Scratch House at the time, and they fucked with me, my personality. They were like, bro, you're funny. I want you to throw shows here and like do promoting. So that's why I'm like, I just started throwing comedy shows like literally like 3 weeks ago. It was my first comedy show. 2 weeks ago, or last week. Last week was my first comedy show. But the owner of that club realized like I could be a good like event organizer, event promoter. So he's like, bro, throw shows for me. You can do whatever you want here. And I did. I do hip hop shows, and I'd eventually like throw in a show like a riff raff show. A show for riff raff in 2019. Yeah, from 2017 to 2019, I was doing my thing in the hip hop scene here in Austin locally. I was throwing shows, shooting music videos, and I eventually got, you know, I was doing event promoting, event organizing, and all that shit. That's why it's been really easy, almost like a seamless transition to throwing shows. That's why my first show, which was like last week, was so good and so like you didn't go to it, but you know our homies were.
I believe you. I'm just kidding.
It was a good show.
I heard all about it. Yeah.
It was a good. It was a nice little show.
I had shit to do.
For a first comedy show, it was good because I already had experience organizing hip hop shows. You know, from 2017 to 2019, and that's really easy to me, bro. Throwing shows is easy. Like that's not hard at all to me. Like organizing events, and you would think it's hard as fuck. Like people go to school to organize events and be event planners and shit like that. But that's like almost like too easy for me to throw shows and stuff like that. Like comedy and art is hard, and like that's like a code on a crack and shit like that. But organizing events, throwing events is so easy to me. And that's why I have a leg up on like other like open micers that want to throw like shows and stuff like that, because I've done it before with hip hop, and it's like the same thing almost. Like as long as you get the talent and know how to fucking promote on Eventbrite and promote on Instagram.
If anything, it's easier now, right?
Oh yeah, because comedy's so popping.
You just and you don't need to put up music or anything or their beats.
Yeah, I had to sell like the local rappers because like to get people to come in. Like I had to really like go on the street.
Yeah.
I did man on the street videos. Not because I wanted to, because I knew it would promote the show.
And now you're a part of it, and there's people, and then you're able to get people with bigger reputations
in comedy
to be a part of it.
Yeah, because I mean it's behind the scenes shit, and it's really not like.
Oh wait, but we're sorry. All right, yeah.
So I moved to Austin in 2016.
And then up to 2019, you're doing the rap thing.
Yeah,
it's
doing
getting
music
good.
videos.
You even got a riff raff thing on your belt.
But then the pandemic hit. And the owner of that club, it was a dope spot. It was on, you know, if you know downtown Austin, 7th Street's, you know, right there in the shit with 6th Street, and it was the spot right by Creek in the Cave. So it was easy to throw shows there because it was in the downtown area. And the pandemic hit, and the owner of that club lost it because he couldn't, you know, pay rent and not have a space during the pandemic. So he lost that spot, and during the pandemic, I ended up going back to the 9-to-5 life. This is like 2019, 2020. Up until 2022, I was doing 9-to-5 life again. And then in 2022, I met this girl, and we get wrapped up with each other. Or actually, 2021, I met her. And she was in this little rap scene. I know it's not like super interesting as fuck, but she was like hanging around like rappers I was like fucking with. And then I knew her, and then we got wrapped up, and then it was like the same situation as that girl I had with in 2019 or 2017. You know, the college girl I met.
You started losing your grip.
Yeah, losing my grip, and falling in love with her, and like not focusing on creative shit and only like.
And you're living an unfulfilling life, which leads to destruction and anger and violence and everything else.
Yeah, and
suicidal thoughts because
Yeah, so.
And I like to be honest about that kind of thing because that is how I felt before I followed my dream.
Yeah, so from 2021 to up until like 3 months ago, I was wrapped in her. We were dating, and she was the first girl I dated that had like a serious addiction to alcoholism. And I didn't like really do research until she got to rehab, you know, in July of this year. But from 2021 to 2023, she was a severe alcoholic. I noticed that very early on in the relationship. So I told myself, look, if I'm gonna make this relationship successful, I'm already in my mid-20s at that time. I was already thinking, you know what, fuck creative, creative ideas or creative like thoughts. Mm-hmm. Let me just be like a 9-to-5 dude and like help my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, be the man.
Yeah, just like, you know what, fuck it. I'll be like, my grandpa was a post office worker. My grandma was a teacher. I was like, fuck it. I would just be a 9-to-5er and like help her with her shit as she goes through her addiction. I got completely sober from 2021 to 2023, dating her. I got completely sober, and I was like pretty much her caretaker, bro. Like it was a drug addiction she had, and I was like an enabler, and I didn't realize all like those terms and things like that until like she got into rehab. But I was pretty much enabling her drug addiction and putting my creative life on the back end and working 9-to-5 and trying to like be in a relationship that was gonna last a lifetime. And that's what I thought with her. I was like, you know what, this is my person. I'm gonna stay with her and working 9-to-5 until I die. I was cool with it as long as I had a partner in life. You know what I mean? I had like a girl with me and to go through it all. But let's fast forward to 2023. She gets into rehab because I mean she had a bunch of health issues with her addiction, and she ended up cheating on me in rehab. with the fucking homeless.
I had already met you by this point too. I remember.
So. I was talking about.
I remember you were kind of saying like, "Man, I had a bad situation with my girl."
A while ago.
Yeah.
It's again. I learned with the Kill Tony episode not to throw people under the bus anymore. I don't want to, bro, because it creates problems. But she did me dirty in rehab, and she left me. And this was like not even 3 months ago.
This is public knowledge.
This was in the middle of July of this year.
It's one of your best bits.
It's probably my best bit.
It's a great bit. It's a great bit, I gotta say.
Yeah. I felt thank you, dude.
Yeah.
We so early having a good bit is fucking funny as fuck.
I was impressed when I learned about that bit.
Yeah, and that's why I learned to be honest, because all my best bits so far, and again, I'm so early in this comedy journey, but I learned that honesty in comedy is the best policy. But it's a double-edged sword, because being honest on the Kill Tony episode kind of led to like so much aftermath. And I mean, I'm sure y'all can see this. I'm the dude from Kill Tony who outed his friend for doing some sus-ass shit in middle school. But I thought being honest would be funny at the time, because honesty is funny, and I'm like, you know. And
then also we're like, it's based in honesty, and there's suspension of disbelief. We have to we have to say certain things that aren't always true, even when we're telling the truth, just for the fucking laugh.
Like that's where I'm at.
It's just, you know.
And
you know, not to get into detail of what is or isn't in that situation. Yeah, trust me. I mean, I talked about my aunt getting murdered.
That's wild.
I talked about my aunt getting murdered, and then sexualized it. I don't even want to fucking dude. I bet. Dude.
Like.
So trust me, I get what you.
That's one
we
thing.
both kind of related on that. We both kind of
bro.
went TMI about some shit like that.
That
too.
thing I'm struggling with is comedy. Like, I want to be honest to my story.
You didn't break your whole family's heart.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
I wasn't confronted about that specifically, but still, yeah.
Is that the bit you did on Kill Tony? Like about your
that was one of my best bits, dude. And I would do that at gigs, and it would kill. It was like about how like, oh, I'm not famous yet, but my aunt's famous. She actually has her own Netflix show, and
that's wild as fuck.
It's called The Confession Killer because she got murdered. And then people, and then it would hit them off. And I remember it doing okay the first time during my first minute, but I re-reference it in the second episode, and he makes me tell it again, and it's fucked. But at least they can see me do it better in my first episode. So that is not the end of the world. That was the worst part of that whole experience for me. As him saying, "What's the funniest thing you've ever said?" And I was so blanked up there. I was like, and sorry, not to get on to me too much.
No, but, I like this.
He was like, "What's the funniest thing you ever said?" Which is a total fucking trap that I have since used on other people since then. It is an amazing fucking tool there. Dude. I learned a valuable tool for that. But anyway, he asked me what the funniest thing I ever said was. I should have said when I called you Anthony last time. That would have been perfect. That would have been
a good callback.
But I just answered the question honestly, and I was like, honestly, that was one of my best bits that I said last time on the show, because it was. I have audio proof that, you know, that joke was a great joke for me, and also it did okay the very first time. But anyway.
Like, I know like a lot of y'all viewers
Yeah.
only see our Kill Tony shit, and you base our whole base our persona and personality off of Kill Tony, but that's just a small minute and 10 minutes of a portion of our lives, bro. Like Daniel, you know, he's a fucking. This guy is one of the funniest guys in Austin to me.
I appreciate it.
I mean that. Like he murders and he kills this guy right here, and he's indirectly helped me become a better comic because I learned from him.
Together, we've been out here together since you've been grinding.
Since I've been grinding, yeah.
And we were friends before you even started that too.
Bro, I gravitated to you because I knew you were like on the same wavelength as me.
I was just about to say. I was excited. I'm getting all my friends on here. I'm getting all the comedians on here. Feliberto, you in particular, I was excited to get you on here because not only that, you and I just had a lot in common before. We were both kind of like, you know, little whitewashed Mexicans
and kind of chubby.
And we kind of we get people mixed up type shit with people.
You and Swiggy and shit.
And Swiggy, you look like another friend of mine, the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And with music ties too, honestly. And so we had plenty. We were videographers, so like we were already like kind of linked up before you actually got started in comedy. I actually thought you were already a comedian, and it's like I wasn't surprised when you started coming out here. I was actually surprised to learn that it had been only like so little time. But
I didn't jump in completely until September.
Not only that, the more we get to know each other, it's like a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
You know, I'm only 24. I know I look fucking your age or older.
Yeah, I'm
but
29.
it's just like, you know, I related to you on a lot, man, already.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
you know, I already know a lot about you too, so it's just.
Because I'm an open book,
Yeah.
bro. Like, before comedy, I've always been
and
an
sorry,
open book.
before, and then last thing I want to say before we continue though too. Not only do we relate as people well enough, I feel like you and I are both made such a fucking mark on Kill Tony.
In a weird way.
Yeah,
like,
and you good. You had like a fucking amazing one too. Like
I had a
good
moment,
reception.
but
There's still plenty of conflictions and stuff, but trust me, I
Yeah.
get it. You know me, I get it.
You know
But
the
in that situation. Yeah,
But
take
I
it.
mean, being too
Oh,
much into the
that
game,
came on.
being too much into the game, and like getting that national spotlight, and like my clips almost already getting 1 million views. I'll be honest, like I'm not ready for that shit. Like, you know, yeah, I had a decent, you know, people on the internet will say it was mid, but like if you look at the episode, my second joke got like a legit laughs in the audience. The A bit, the alcohol, you know, about my girlfriend being an alcoholic and shit. That gets legit laughs.
But like you had a positive thing up there though, ultimately, and I do
positive for
commend
Kill Tony.
and applaud you for that.
Positive for the episode, but
Well, that's my whole thing. I just, you know, I'd like to just get up there one last time and make a good impression, and you already made a good impression. You know, that's my goal. But
it's weird, bro, because I think I made a good impression as far as like content for them for the episode,
but you
but
have to deal with, you know,
I feel like, you know,
what you said.
the growing pains of comedy, and I'm only 2 months in, and I learned that like exposing people in a way that I did is not the way to go about it. Like I wish I didn't expose them the way I did, and I'm sure, you know, once y'all find this, you see like, hey, I'm the guy who, you know, exposed his friend for whatever he did, but I know that that's gonna be a scar. You know, people, you know, even if I become the next great big comedian, some people are gonna remember me as the guy who exposed his friend.
Okay, wait. Your girlfriend went to
rehab.
To rehab.
Yeah, so she went to the hospital in May, bro, for issues with her alcoholism, which led to a mental institution that she had to get into, which led to rehab. So
Yeah.
from May until July, she was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, dealing with her medical issues, and then, you know, she expressed some suicidal thoughts. And I learned, you know, this is my journey and it's part of my story, but not to expose too much about people that are in my life. But she has a crazy life. You know, the girlfriend who
Legitimate issues.
legitimate issue. You know, her sister died during the pandemic, from COVID, and it is what it is. But yeah, her sister died during the pandemic from COVID as a young person. Her sister was only 22 at the time, so that fucked her up. And I was the only person in her life that stood by her, because she was an alcoholic before her sister dying, and I didn't know how extensive her alcohol issue was, but everyone else in her life knew, and they kind of like backed off away from her when her sister passed away. And I didn't know why at the time, so I was like, why is everyone leaving this girl when her sister passed away? Let me be, you know, the white savior, the captain save a hoe, the white knight, all that shit you can say about.
In a way, you kind of needed to be that, right? She had
Absolutely,
nobody else.
she had no one else, bro. And like, I didn't mean to. I didn't directly. I didn't pay for her alcohol. I didn't.
I mean, don't
buy
sell
a
yourself
drink.
short, but I've also been captain save a hoe.
I think it's a plight of a man, bro. Like to
Yeah.
like, you know, some guys go through life.
Amen,
and not,
brother.
Yeah,
Amen.
some guys go through life and not, you know, being a ladies' man and not like being caught up with a girl who has issues. But a lot of guys, especially in the comedy scene, are drawn to girls with like severe issues. And like women, you know, I understand
And
women's
we have
life.
to be careful, and be
Yeah,
professional, not to be attracted to each other too much, you know. Shout out Ralphie May.
Shout out Ralphie May, because like before I got into comedy, I was already hip to like the business of entertainment with hip hop. And I know like you don't shit where you eat and stuff like that. So getting into comedy and watching other open micers and things like that, shit where they eat and like fuck around, I told myself, look, I'm never gonna do that. But back to my girlfriend and like her issues at the time. She's had a hard life. Ex-girlfriend, she had a hard life, and then, you know, I might talk about it on stage, and you know, but I'll be honest, like, yeah, her sister passed away of COVID at earlier 22, and she was only 24 at the time. So I was like, no one's there for her. Let me be there for. So from 2020, her sister died literally 3 weeks after we like met and like started like talking.
After you met.
Yeah, bro. Like,
oh shit. Okay.
so we met in 2021. Oh, I met her like in 2019, but she was always like around the hip hop scene. But I never like really like paid attention to her until 2021. You know, we met, like actually like hung out and then grew, you know, had a bond and all that shit. And then I realized she was kind of crazy, not crazy, but like she had issues before her sister passed away, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna back off. But then her sister passed away, and she was like reaching out to me heavy, bro. And our bond got tighter because no one else was there for her, and I was like, I'm gonna be there for her. And then that bond led to a 2-year relationship from 2021 to 2023, up until July of this year, where she cheated in rehab and all that, and she ran off with the dude in rehab. Whatever, right? That's a plight, bro. I mean, like every comedian, not every comedian, but a lot of comedians I notice have like their start after some crazy depressing shit happened to them.
Life changing.
Yeah, some ego death shit.
We spoke earlier about epiphanies.
Yeah. Ego death, crazy life altering events.
And you have to get over that, you know.
Yeah, and I found comedy. I've always been drawn to comedy. Like I said, like I've always been into Louis, Richard, Pryor.
Natural.
Growing up, I was into Tosh. So like 2023, she cheats on me, and comedy is exploding in Austin. And I feel like I'm a creative person. I'm like, now I have all this free time and extra time to explore my creativity again and like get back into the creative scene. And I naturally get drawn into comedy for a lot of different reasons. But the main reason is because comedy's so huge here in Austin right now. Like, I wouldn't recommend starting out in Austin because it's so intimidating, bro. Like, I started off and I was prepared for it. I'm still, like, again, 2 months into
the
game.
Ground running, though.
Yeah, I have a lot to learn. But if you're built for this life, Austin is a great place to start, but I would recommend starting in Austin.
I don't know. I mean, I would almost say the same. But
you're born and raised here, so you have a really interesting
I have a different...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking from myself, but I'm saying as far as, like, seeing kids come here. And some kids get their feelings hurt. Some kids just quit right away. But it's just, like... And sometimes they're, like, pretty young. But,
like, I want to give props to people that started here. Like,
just try to figure out what it's really like. Try to realize what you're really getting into. And then there's a lot of people here who are so desperate to come here, they're homeless.
Yeah.
And they want to be homeless just to do this. And then that only lasts for so long for some of them. And some of them figure it out. And some of them, I don't know. Shout out Craig Murray. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. The open mic scene here is wild. And Craig, that guy, we can talk about that guy for an hour or two.
I already interviewed him.
You interviewed him? Hell yeah.
Interviewed him.
Bro, y'all need to check out that Craig
interview. Check out the Craig Murray interview. He's an interesting, amazing.
He's an interesting cat.
Amazing.
For sure. His life story is crazy, but in this Austin scene, as an open micer, you meet a lot of interesting people and really funny people. But so it's crazy because my best joke is the first joke I've ever written. That AA joke was the first joke I ever written.
Oh yeah, so just literally, you by God.
Yes, bro. You know, I worked it out and I kept it out, and it started off as something different. You know, and again, a lot of y'all are like watchers and viewers and stuff, but like you have to work shit out, bro. Like you might be a genius your first attempt and it lands, but that AA joke, I started off. I did. I want to shout out people, bro. I did Derek Dimple's first his bar.
Shout out Derek Dimple.
At my very first open mic, I literally just talked about the breakup. I didn't have any punchlines. I didn't have any like set premises. I just went on stage and like Derek was like, I noticed you've been hanging around a lot because I hung around for like a good month before I actually jumped in the water.
Yeah.
And like, comedy's a process, bro. And I'm only 2 months in, and it's a whole fucking process of information you gotta download into your system and learn how to figure it out. And like, it's an art and science, and just like every art form, there's a formula to it, but you have to add your unique take on life. You have to. And I went in just jumping in the water, bro. Like, I hung out for a month, and through hip hop, I formed like relationships with people like veterans in the comedy Austin scene, like Ty Wynn. I met Ty Wynn back in 2017, 2018 when I was doing hip hop shit. Mm-hmm. So I knew him, and he was like an established veteran here in Austin. Shout out Ty Wynn, bro. I met him in 2018, and I kind of like followed him for a bit, and I hung out with him, and I saw what he was doing and how he was going about it. And then I met the open mic scene. I got introduced to the open mic scene and where to go, you know, the spots. And I'll shout out the spots too, because if you're watching this and you want to be a comic and like come to Austin, you want to go to the Creek in the Cave, and you want to hit up Rapolos, and you want to do Banana Phone, things like that. Shout out to people like Candace and Alden. He's a great comic, but he runs a mic called the Tag Mic.
It's one of my favorite mics.
Yeah, bro, because like it's more of a workshop.
That's one of my favorite mics.
It's more of a workshop.
I love that mic.
Love it, bro.
I love that mic.
And Candace with her banana phone, bro. Like Austin is again, it's a double-edged sword because it's a great place to start to get if you're really about this life and you really know that you're creative, and you can actually do something with it. Then go ahead and jump right in and do all these crazy mics here in Austin. In my life, I've been a funny person, and throughout high school and stuff, I didn't talk about it earlier, but I go on class clown and I was jokey. So I knew I was about this life, about being a creative and being funny, and I have natural. I mean, if you see my Kill Tony interview, like it is what it is, but you can't deny that I'm naturally funny. You know, this is a serious interview and stuff like that, but like when the lights come on and it's time to fucking show your chops, I mean, naturally, like on the spot, boom, 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 boom. You know, I may have exposed my friend and shit, but I was fucking funny as fuck. And you can't deny that. And like, it is what it is. But if you have it in you to come to Austin and like do comedy, then do it for sure. But if you're not sure yet and you're on the fence about it, don't come here, dude. Because I feel like you're gonna get like overwhelmed and shocked. Because this scene's intense, bro.
Yeah, no, it's boot camp. It's a boot camp, college. You know, it's samurai. It's the way of the warrior. We're out here. We're Ronin. And we have to be ready for battle at any given moment. And that's one of the main things I learned from Kill Tony. You know, I didn't think I would ever get on there a second time, and I got caught with my pants down. And
so you just signed up to sign up.
So ever since then, I made a vow to always be ready. Always be ready to chop someone's head off. Always ready to kick someone in the head, metaphorically.
Yeah,
metaphorically. Always be fucking ready.
But sometimes you gotta be physically ready, bro. And the open mic scene is crazy, bro. Well, I want to get to the. I know this is a big topic with my episode because I wink at Tony, and bro, the bucket isn't rigged. It's not rigged at all. Like I may, you know, people. I know there's a lot of conspiracy.
For me, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't rigged.
It wasn't rigged for me either. Bro, it's
because if it was rigged, that means they tried to put me up in front of the best comedians in the world.
Yeah, you got a crazy episode both times, right?
What if
Ric Flair, bro? That's
if it was rigged, then they did me the best favor I ever could have asked for, and then I dropped the ball.
Yeah, they drew up.
But either way,
that means
I
they see potential in someone like you.
Yeah, but I don't think it's rigged. But if it were, God fucking bless them either fucking way.
To be a comedian, and a lot of people have called me, like I look at the comments, I'm not gonna lie, call me delusional and shit like that, but you have to be a little delusional. I don't recommend it, but yes. You have to be a little, I'm not looking at the comments anymore, but you have to be a little delusional to even get into comedy, bro. Yeah. You have to be like crazy, bro, like, you have to be a crazy person, not have to be, you know, there's people that have their shit together in comedy, but most of the great comics start off as like homeless or, you know, a little mental issues here and there, but like, if you're a comic and this life's for you, you're a damaged soul. You're damaged, or you have some type of damage to you. But I want to address that since we're like already almost to that point where the Kill Tony shit. It's not rigged. It's not rigged at all. Like
take it from here. Yeah, I think we pretty much got to this point too.
Yeah, I winked at him, and there's a bunch of conspiracy theories already why I winked at him, and a lot of people are saying it's rigged, but it's not, bro. That day. That Monday.
They thought it was inside baseball.
Yeah, they thought I knew I was getting caught up, bro. A lot of the people that didn't think, like,
that's Reddit bullshit. Reddit, that's only on Reddit. Look, YouTube Reddit. Comments aren't saying that shit like that.
Some YouTube people are, bro.
Like, I think I would say generally the Kill Tony fans on YouTube are generally like seeing the show for what it is.
Yeah,
for the most part. Here and there, yeah, and then most of the shit talking is made up bullshit.
I know this is to get to Reddit, bro. This is to get to Reddit, and like y'all Reddit conspiracy theorists that think that I winked at him because I knew I was gonna get on. I had no idea I was gonna get on. The reason why I winked at him, and y'all won't believe this, or you know, it seems far-fetched, but I had tripped DMT for the first time like a week before, and my DMT trip, it told me that I was gonna have crazy opportunities, and Sunday I got on the mothership.
So did mine.
That's
from our same guy. Don't shout no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shout him out. I fuck with that guy a lot. But
great guy.
But DMT, like again, that's also like comedy, bro. If you're not ready for DMT, it's gonna fuck you up. But DMT really exposes a lot. And I know Joe Rogan, like, it's been memed out talking about DMT and shit like that. But I did DMT like a week before I got on Kill Tony, and did the mothership the day before. But it exposed a lot of shit to me, and again, you know, whatever you see on DMT or whatever you believe about DMT and stuff like that, it is what it is. But I didn't feel like it was random, not because I knew no one texted me or no one gave me inside information saying, hey, you're gonna be on Kill Tony, but I got a hint from the universe or God or whatever you believe in that I was gonna get some crazy opportunities, and I did. Sunday I got on the mothership, and in my opinion I did well. And then the Monday, right after that, I got on Kill Tony. None of it was rigged. No one told me I was going to get on Kill Tony. No one told me anything like that. No one said, hey, for sure you're going to get on. That Monday, actually, it was, the Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving. My family actually, for some reason, I don't know why, they celebrated Thanksgiving that day. And I was the second to last bucket pool. And I was regretting even going to Kill Tony because I was like, man, my family's celebrating Thanksgiving today, and I missed my family celebration to not even get caught up.
That's divine. That's divine.
I'm being honest. Like, this is complete honesty. Yeah. So when I went up there, I was like, yeah, all random. And I do my little week. I know it was an intentional week, but I felt like it wasn't because I knew I was going to get on Kill Tony. It's because I knew the universe, after doing DMT, told me I was going to have some crazy opportunities. And I did, like, back-to-back days, getting the mothership. Because the mothership here in Austin, it's a look. Like, you want to talk inside baseball and shit like that, it's a look.
Generally, for the most part, and then according to Kill Tony, it's all legit, and then there is definitely legitimacy to it. And
absolutely.
And sometimes,
it's not rude at all.
And sometimes in comedy, you have to make executive decisions when you're putting on shows, and that's all I'm going to say. And I don't know, because I don't know. But I do know that there's comedy shit. People criticize them a lot, and then it's just like that. But it's just like that is part of the business, Like, you have to bump people, you have to do all kinds of shit. But anyway,
I want to clear the rumors though, because there is like, I think.
And I think also this is your time to share your opinion and share what you believe.
No one reached out to me saying I was gonna be on Kill Tony for sure. No one told me I was gonna be on Kill Tony. I was already ready to leave the waiting area. Like, I don't know how much y'all are familiar with Kill Tony.
Felt completely random for me as well.
Hell yeah, because it is random. Like, no one tells you. Like, we don't sign NDAs saying that we have to breathe privately. Know that it's not rigged at all. I had no idea.
You do have to sign some sort of document, just like allowing.
Oh, your pictures and permission. But that's like obvious. I mean, that's obvious.
You're agreeing to be a part of the show.
Yeah, but like no one told me beforehand that I was gonna get rigged, and I want to clear that shit up because like there's conspiracies on Reddit that I was rigged to get on it, and I knew I was gonna get on it, but I had no clue, bro. I was already ready to leave the waiting area. Like, I don't know how deep you are into the Kill 20 shit, but I was waiting at a bar next door. That's not fun. I mean, you feel the vibe. It's in anticipation. Everyone's like, who's gonna get caught? Who's gonna get caught up? And you're practicing your little minute and shit. But no one has a guaranteed spot unless you're a regular or a golden ticket winner. No one has a guaranteed spot. Like, no one knows for sure they're guaranteed on that fucking show. And me, like, I know there is rumors, bro, on TikTok, on Instagram, and I've been, dude, my DMs and my Instagram comments. For some reason, there's
you got haters. A lot of DMs?
I got DMs, bro. My DMs.
I only got one DM.
I got a bunch of DMs either like asking me if I was gay or asking me if it was rigged. Like a bunch of DMs, like from randoms. And then I also got hater comments. I got hater comments, and I responded with positivity. And a lot of the hater comments deleted their comments on their own. That's the thing I want to clear up too. I don't delete comments because I understand the game of, like, again, it's all inside shit. But if you want to talk about engagement on social media, I understand hater comments actually like boost your shit up. But I was getting mad that a lot of the haters would like comment on me and talking shit either about the friend situation with who I mentioned, or saying that I was rigged to get on. But as soon as I respond with positivity because I'm not a hater, bro. Like, maybe that's why I had these good opportunities because I'm not a hater at all. It's all love with me. Y'all may think that I'm a fucking asshole for exposing their friend for some middle school shit. But I'm not. He's a solid guy. He's like people. There's conspiracies that he's gonna kill me, or he's gonna kill himself, or I'm gonna kill myself. I've heard that shit on the internet, but none of that's true. Like, I don't feel like any type of suicidal thoughts now from Kill Tony. I had suicidal thoughts from getting cheated on in rehab for sure. It's funny because comedy is something you want to be honest about, but I'm learning because like my family and my friends know I'm an open book, and I keep secrets and shit, but I'm an open book about me. With me, it's because my parents were so young when I was born, and they're teenagers in the 90s, and my dad put me on to like Alice in Chains, obviously Nirvana. They put me on to like Primus or Primus. How do you pronounce that band? You know what I'm talking about?
Primus.
My name is Earl or Ed, whatever. Like my dad.
Primus. Don't do. I'm perfect about not fucking that
Tool,
up.
Perfect Circle. Like my dad understands. Like, he's a young dude, so my dad could relate to like my plight. And like, I've been arrested for Xanax. Like before my grandma died in 2019, I think my very first show in 2019, a hip hop show.
Keep talking. You grab it.
I think my very first hip hop show in 2019, and I had just gotten arrested. 2 weeks before my show and 1 week before my grandma died, I got arrested with like 60 Xanax bars on me, and like 3 grams of weed, and I got arrested at ACC. I was selling Xanax at ACC, but
oh shit,
dude, I got arrested.
You're going to college?
Yeah, and I was still shooting music videos for rappers, right? And like, bro, in rap, like the money you see, it's fake money. So as a videographer, I had prop money on me. But I also fucked up on Xanax. I went to ACC and I went to their little like corner store at ACC. The one, this campus around here.
And they saw your prop money?
Yeah, I paid my prop money at ACC.
By accident?
Yeah, I was all fucked up on Xanax. And I had 60 Xanax on me.
Are you sure it was an accident?
Well, I mean, I think no, it was because look this is, I remember the story because like when you get like in a situation with the law, I think it sobers you up quickly. So fuck yeah, I'll tell the story. This was before the Riff Raff show. Like, it was before my biggest show. Right? It was a week before my grandma died. 2 weeks before I threw that show. I was at ACC selling Xanax and doing Xanax. Usually, like, that's like the norm for Xanax dealers. Like my current plug, I don't want to air him out, but my plug is a fucking bar baby too, like heavy into bars. My former current plug. But at the time, I was selling Xanax and doing Xanax. And I went to ACC to sell some, but I also stopped by the store. And I was shooting music videos at the time, and I paid with a Prop 20, motion pictures only 20 type of Prop 20 bill. And the clerk was like, "Are you serious?" And it was an accident because I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hold on 1 minute." And this dude went to the ACC, the campus security, and the campus security.
He could have just asked you.
Yeah, he was a bit of dick, bro. It was some little.
Anyway.
Yeah. I don't want to like a little fucking faggot, gay dude. But he was like, I don't know. He was on some sassy shit. He's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" He said, "Hold on 1 minute." Got the security. And at the time, supposedly, there was like some type of counterfeit ring going on at all the ACC campuses.
Oh, okay.
And they thought I was part of that. I was like, "No, I'm just on Xanax right now." And I admitted to the cop. They took me to the campus police. They handcuffed me. And,
you explained that you had prop money for your legit reasons.
Yeah, I was like, I'll shoot music videos. I'm not part of I don't know what the fuck that counterfeit shit's about. And then I told the cop at ACC that I have a Xanax prescription. And you don't have to edit this out. You know?
No, yeah, keep going, yeah.
But I told the cop, he's like, "All right." I guess because it was ACC, the cops, but it was an actual cop, ACC cop, campus cop. They're like, "Yeah, 1 week to show us the Xanax prescription, or we're going to charge you for the Xanax. So we're for sure charging you for the weed. But it's only 3 grams of weed, so like they let me go. They're like, it's an arrest and release for the weed, and if you don't show us the prescription for the Xanax, we're gonna add on the Xanax too." So what I did, where I'm from, bro, I'll be fucking completely honest. The Valley, the Rio Grande Valley, Deep South Texas, it's a border town, and like buying prescription medications in Mexico is legal. Like, you could be 18 and over, and you could go to any pharmacy. It's like buying Tylenol.
So you got a Mexican prescription?
No, I got an actual prescription in the Valley, like a U.S. prescription, but they're so lenient down there at the time. I don't know how
you
it is
went and asked for one, or what?
Yeah, I went in and bullshitted, bro, because I'm a comedian, I'm a creative, I'm an actor, and I'm a bullshitter. So I went to the doctors in the Valley. I went from Austin. Literally, as soon as I told my parents, like, "Hey,
comedy is slick talking."
It's slick talking, right? So I told them I have a prescription. I went down to the Valley. I told my parents, like, "Hey, I just got arrested with this, that, and the third. And I need to go to the Valley to get a prescription." And my grandma died like a week. Like, when I got to the Valley, my grandma died that fucking week. It's so fucking weird. And my grandma, the one who passed away, she had so much fucking taste. She was independently wealthy, and she's the one that put me on to film and movies and shit. Like, we would be like 2005, 2003, we would like dissect movies together as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old.
Yeah.
My mom's mom. This wasn't the one who raised my dad's mom was the one who pretty much raised me, like straight Catholic. My mom's mom was like a wealthy, rich, like elitist vibes. Like, she would like be down to do drugs and shit. And she put me on to like movies, and she's one of the people that put me on to like films like Crash with what's that dude's name? Matt Dillon. And Zoe Saldana. She put me on to movies like Crash, the Truman Show. But my grandma just passed away at that time. And I couldn't even remember my grandma's lost because I was too busy worried about fighting the Xanax charge. So anyways, I went down to the Valley. My grandma died like 3 days after I was down. I got my Xanax prescription. I lied to the doctor. I mean, I didn't lie because I do have social anxiety. But I went and I said, "Hey, I have social anxiety. I need a prescription for Xanax." Came back to Austin after the funeral. Showed the campus cops, like, "Here, boom, here's my prescription." They almost gave me back the Xanax they took from me. But they saw that I got a refill. I got a Xanax prescription. They're like, "We're gonna keep the Xanax, but we're gonna drop the Xanax charge." Because I would have been like a class B. It still would have been a felony, but it was a class B.
Controlled substance on
Yeah,
campus.
it was a class B misdemeanor, class B misdemeanor, and they dropped it when I showed them the prescription, and then I took a little weed class for like an hour here in Austin. They dropped the weed charge, so I didn't get anything for that arrest. But yeah, the reason I brought that up is because my family knows me, bro. Like, back to I guess trying to kill Tony. My family's like actually proud of the kill Tony moment. Like my dad's been
Me too, for the most part.
My dad's been sending me clips that they've been clipping. And,
Well, actually, I haven't talked to them.
That's shout out because fuck Life of Logos. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't know who you are or anything like that. But you're making money off of me. But Life of Logos clips already at almost 1 million. I'm not getting any money for that. But my dad showed me that clip of all my Life of Logos shit. I mean, I'm shouting you out, whatever, bro. Whoever you are or girl. But your clip, Life of Logos, my dad's been showing me that. And he's proud of me. He actually like fucks with it. And he's like, don't worry about, you know, the backlash and all that shit. You're funny. Because like my family's been my family's been supportive of my creative journey. I guess because they were so young. My dad and my mom were so young, and they were like, you know, cool and hip to like shit going on in the 90s and the early 2000s, stuff like that. So they kind of not pushed me to be the creative, but they accept that you know, this is my plight, you know, as a damaged soul, a creative soul that I think I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm delusional. But they accept me for pursuing my dreams, and I've always fucked with my parents, even though they don't talk to each other at all, and they hate each other. They've supported all my endeavors and my fuck ups, and you know, they obviously you give me talks and like, you know, let me know I'm fucking up, but they understand that I want to be an artist in any type of way, and they support me. So I've been an open book about my life, and I've been institutionalized too when I was like 19 or 20 for Xanax. So I first broke up with that first girlfriend that I broke up earlier in college. After every breakup with girls, I've handled it badly. I spiral, but I went to a mental hospital when I first broke up with that girl from San Antonio.
I can basically say the same. I haven't had that many, but yeah.
I went to a mental hospital for 3 days, and I was like, I'm not this crazy. I'm crazy, man. I'm like, people were shitting in the cafeteria in the mental hospital. I'm like, I'm not doing shit like that. And they put me in a room with some guy who was like, I couldn't tell if he's telling the truth or not, because I was only there for 3 days, and I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm not this crazy. But my roommate was like, in the mental hospital, he was like, I was in a fire, my house burned down, and my wife and kids died. And this was like 5 years ago, and I don't know where my life's been since. And I was like, you're fucking crazy, bro. And like, people were shitting in the cafeteria. People were talking to the wall.
In the cafeteria.
Yeah, bro. In the fucking the little fucking corner of the fucking hospital. I'm like, I call my parents. I'm like, look, yeah, I was suicidal, but these like I'm not on this level of like craziness. Like, get me the fuck out of here. And they got me out of the mental hospital. So my family, what I'm saying is that they know my struggles with addictions and stuff like that, and they don't support me financially or anything like that. And they obviously don't support my addiction, but they know that I'm a struggling, you know, addict with Xanax and shit like that. And they support me with like positive words and like encouragement, but they know a bunch of shit about me. My family knows everything about me pretty much. My mom and my dad for sure. And now I reach out to my grandma and grandparents that are alive. But yeah, I guess that's my little bit, or not bit, but like my stuff with Xanax and stuff like that. And it's a battle, you know, it's my battle to bear. It's my, it's my, my journey and shit. I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I don't know what else to say about me and Xanax. I mean, if you have an addiction, you know what it's like. You know what it is. Yeah. You know what it is and what it isn't. And if you don't have addiction, good for you. You know, that's cool. I've done therapy. I actually got fired from my last job because when I was going through that breakup, the most recent breakup. Because I showed up to work, like, I took like 8 going to work. And they called, like, my boss was based out of Houston. And she called me, she's like, hey, I heard you
60 milligrams. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. And then my boss was like, I heard, like, you need to go home now. Like, customers are calling and complaining about you. And I was like, okay. And then I went on, this was like in the middle of the day, like early in the day, like around, I went to work at 8 a.m. And around 10 a.m. my boss called me and like, hey, people are complaining that they're doing some, like, I don't know what I was doing, but they said I was being like barred out, like pretty much like it seems like you're on drugs right now. You need to go home. And then they called me like at 5:30 after work hours, and said, hey, don't show up to work tomorrow. And this was like around probably like right when jumped into comedy, like in late August, early September. And then since then, you know, I've been up and down with Xanax, and you know, that's my story is Xanax.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with it.
I can relate, brother. I can relate.
I'm struggling with it, and you know, I'm sober from Xanax for the most part. Maybe I need it because I do have social anxiety. I'm not on a Xanax right now, unfortunately. And if you want to keep
according to your hometown, you do.
Yeah, dude, my hometown, it sucks, bro. Like this whole Kill Tony experience, like I love where I'm from, bro. I love the Rio Grande Valley and the 956 area. And I'm still fresh.
Yeah,
in the scene.
Just take my word, it gets better.
I'm only a month and a half in, or 2 months now. Like, officially, like 2 months, 3 to 2.5 months in. But like 2 weeks ago, when I got interviewed and did my first Kill Tony, I'll admit I wasn't ready for it. And you know, my jokes, you know, some people that didn't say was mid, or you know, it was decent. And I got a good, some positive feedback, but I got mostly negative feedback. You know, saying that I'm a shitty friend or I'm like low key gay.
By individuals online or in real life?
No, randoms online. Exactly. It's.
But they're just trying to make a personal judgment on somebody they don't know.
Exactly.
You know, there's no reason to validate that.
And I noticed when they DM me or you know whoever's hating on me, like I wish y'all would leave y'all's comments up, but y'all don't, bro. Every time I respond to y'all, like hating on me on my comments, like y'all find my pictures and shit. I put like, was that really fucked up your fuck? Leave that out. But is that the friend that you know?
You did say his name a lot during the show, but yeah.
I did say that. Yeah,
but, you know, I'll try.
You don't have to do that. Yeah, I say his name a lot. But people are like, is that your friend? Or like people are like, you really fucked up your friend. Your friend's probably gonna kill himself. On my comments, every time I reply, because I'm trying to get my engagement up, bro. Like I put like, it's a game that we're playing, and like you know, social media in today's time, you gotta play the social media game. So I know like hate comments are actually good for you. If you're gonna hate on me, leave them up there, bro. Like don't delete your shit. Like one guy, like he commented on my shit. He was like, they're laughing at you, not with you. You got a big joke book because you're a fucking stupid interview and you're a clown and you're not funny.
So jealous,
bro. They said you're not built for this life. I understand your opinion. I fuck with it and I hearted it. They deleted the comment.
I probably felt like shit.
Yeah, I did. Like and I still feel like shit a little bit, bro. I'm not. I'll be honest, bro. Like I know this is a scar, like with my comedy. If I lose, like, if I end up being big and I don't have a fan base because people are never gonna fuck with me because I exposed a friend, then I have to. That's my scar to bear, or my cross to bear, or whatever analogy you want to use. But it is what it is. I've seen you kill, and like the minute plus the 10-minute interview is not an indication of who we are as complete people. Like airing out, being funny is because like in that moment it's almost like an out of body experience, but you're in it, you're there, and you're trying to prove yourself to comics, trying to be funny, and then that's where I led to like exposing information because I knew it would be funny. Like in the moment, if you're a naturally funny person, you know where your head goes in those moments, and you go for the laugh. And I'm being honest too, but I wish I didn't do it that way. I feel bad for the homie. Because he's not a comedian. He has a regular life, and he's not built for this. I'm built for the hate. I don't mind.
He just got married.
Yeah, he got married literally last year, and I bet he regrets putting me in the wedding and having a connection with Michael. Like it's all random. Like the fact that my homie, the person he married. He
almost won money though, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. But the fact that he's connected to the drummer of Kill Tony is all fucking random. Like none of that was staged. Like, people have.
You were talking about it a lot. You knew that drummer too, like well before.
Yeah, because when he told me like, hey, did you know that? Because we're the best homies. We're in a group chat. I mean, not anymore, but we're in a group chat. And he was like, when I first told him I was starting to do comedy in September, he was like, hey, do you know that if you ever get on Kill Tony, the drummer was actually at the wedding you were in, our wedding. And he was at it. He was in it.
And he left the group chat.
He just hasn't responded.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, he hasn't responded.
Continue though. Yeah, he told you about the drummer.
So I was like, I want to bring that up. That's a good little connection.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was.
Until it like it was a good moment. It was funny. It got it's polarizing. It's controversial.
Made you who you are today, dude.
Yeah. Now I'm 100%. Like I had to be in this, bro. Like I'm.
Everything's meant to be.
Not saying I'm not built for this, but I'm super built. Like y'all ain't built for this because y'all delete y'all's comments after hating on me. Like I'm not super watching.
They're not comedians. Take it easy on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, y'all don't understand the plight of a comedian and like our little journeys and our battles, our losses. Like But with music and like movies, you don't see the fuck ups, as you're fucking up. You know, it's all behind the scenes. But with comedy, you're working out your fuck ups on stage, bro. Like you're working out your act as you're doing your act, and you know, if you want to do comedy, you're gonna learn, you're gonna see it, and you're gonna fuck up, and that's part of the game, bro. Like, and I'm built for this. Like, it's part of the game, fucking up and bombing, and dude. It still feels good after bombing. Like, if y'all are scared to do comedy now, I know a lot of people want to do comedy now, but if you're scared to do it and you bomb, you're gonna feel amazing after. Like, it's just, I don't know why. It's endorphins.
Trust the process.
Yeah, it's endorphins. You know, it's mental stuff, but every time you get off stage, even after bombing,
if you trust the process, eventually you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then, if it's not meant for you, at least you tried it. Yeah, there's veterans in this game. Again, all the time to do research before I enter anything, and there's veterans in the game that haven't got any looks until now, that have been doing this for 5-7 years, and that's the normal. That's the norm. So if you're not, my situation is unique. I'm only 2 months in. I got a crazy look early in my fucking journey, but that's not normal. Like, you're not gonna get a look. I've accepted it way before Kill Tony that I'm not gonna get any type of looks until like 3 or 4 years in. I never expected to be getting book shows. I'm still not getting book shows. I'm not. Like, I think I'm getting like book shows. Like, I'm making, I have a show I'm throwing and stuff like that, but not just because I'm a go-getter, and a venue gave me an opportunity to throw shows, and I'm taking advantage of that. But I went into comedy knowing that it's gonna be a lot of failures before anything positive happens, and then this Kill Tony experience happened, and it is what it is.
It helps, but booking shows is a different game. It takes a while. It takes a while to earn people's trust.
Yeah, because I mean, people who
to hire you.
If you're on a paid lineup, even if it's just $20 to pay you, and people are paying like $5 to get into it or $10 to get into the lineup, you got to be good, dude. Like, the first show I threw this past week, it was a good little turnout, but I put killers on it. I mean, I don't know if whoever's watching this knows, but you gotta look at my lineups. The first lineup I threw was a lot of fire people that are in the Austin scene, and have chops, and that have over 5 years into this shit. But for me personally, I knew going into this that it's gonna be a while before I get any type of real looks. And again, I got Kill Tony, and I'm in a moment, but that's is what it is. And I don't want to be known for Kill Tony for that moment. I definitely do not want to be known for that. I want to be known for like helping people out and inspiring people and being creative and showing my artistic side. And that's what I really want to be known for. And I feel like the little 2 months of it progress, it kind of like set me back. Now I have to earn like people's trust again, like even harder on a mainstream level. Maybe I'm overthinking, but I feel like there's probably did more damage doing this early than good. I don't know.
I wouldn't say that, but definitely you can always have a healthier approach.
Yeah.
You can
and I'm learning, bro. Like,
and then as time progresses, you will adjust the way you approach, feeling about these things.
But yeah, one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this podcast so soon is to I mean, it matters, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it's your life still.
Yeah, tell that, no, I'm not suicidal. No, I'm not going to quit. And yes, I am built for this fucking life. Like, I'm still going to fucking put in my years and put in my time and see where this takes me. Wherever it goes.
Yeah, man. Dude, trust me, man. I ate shit. You did not eat shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw both your episodes, and I don't remember much, but I mean, it seems that they had more of a problem with your interview.
The first time I just got kicked off for my interview.
Yeah.
And the second time I bombed a minute and then just got tore up. But then it was, I think that, and that was just, I wouldn't take that back, dude. It was just an amazing time. That was so amazing to watch. Jamar Neighbors painted me.
That's dope.
Like, dude, Ari Shafir came up to me and shook my hand after his performance the next day. At Creek, made me feel good about it, said something encouraging, it was just
Yeah, I'm realizing
it's amazing.
There's a fine line between clown and comic, and I'm figuring it out. Like, I'm not discouraged or anything. I'm figuring it out. Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun. I love comedy. I love doing this, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And I think that's like the overall message I want to do with this podcast.
Forever and ever, pinky swear.
Yes, sir.
Forever and ever.
You're in this game, bro. If you're in this game, you're in this game for life, bro. Whether it leads you to a comedy career, or a career in screenwriting, or a career in throwing shows or booking, or if you're really about this life, and you want to stick to it, you'll find an avenue. I think. If not, then you die trying. What else are you gonna do with your life, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna do a 9 to 5 all your life, I guess.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna try? You're gonna swing and strike out. You're gonna swing and strike out, but maybe you might hit a home run.
Is there anything else though about like who Filiberto is? Did we cover everything about your life? Did we cover your whole life story?
I think so. Yeah, I think we did. I think that's a good wrap on it.
Yeah, you got everything off your chest there and stuff too.
I think so.
And like I said, you're somebody that I'm gonna frequent with other podcasts. I already have. You know, we got a lot to say about a lot of different things, but this is about the life story, and you did a good job covering everything, in my opinion.
I thought a lot.
And then we got enough juicy details about like things like the other things, but also we talked about Kill Tony. You allowed me to share, and I felt like that was a good conversation.
It was dope. This is a dope experience. Daniel's a good comic.
Yeah.
This would be great.
And it's over when you say it's over, brother.
Yeah, it's done.
You good?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. This has been Strong Stories. It was a pleasure. This was a great episode.